I solve Codie Sanchez's boring business problem. Codie Sanchez teaches people to buy boring businesses, laundromats, car washes, vending machine routes, the kind of businesses that compound slowly, require patient capital, and require operational discipline over decades. And she's teaching people to buy the using the exact opposite approach: high leverage, fast execution, aggressive growth tactics. By the end of this video, you'll understand why teaching low time preference strategy through high time preference marketing creates businesses that fail for predictable reasons, why the financing structures she promotes destroy the actual advantage of boring businesses, and why speed is the enemy of what these businesses work. This isn't about Codie specifically. She's just the most visible example of someone packaging a patient wealth strategy through an impatient audience. And the contradiction is structural. Here's what makes the boring businesses work: they're boring. Low margins, slow growth, predictable cash flow, no viral potential, no exit multiples, no venture capital interest. The entire value proposition is this business will never be exciting, and that's why it works. It works because competition stays low. Nobody wants boring. Operations stay simple. No complexity creep. Customers stay stable. They need the service, not the experience. Cash flow stays consistent. Recurring revenue from necessity. You win by being patient, by not trying to optimize too hard, by letting compound interest do the work for 10 to 20 years. That's the model. Now, watch what happens when Codie teaches it. Buy boring businesses now. Use debt to acquire faster. Scale to multiple locations quickly. Build a portfolio in 2 to 3 years. Every word in that sentence contradicts what makes boring businesses work. Codie promotes aggressive leverage, SBA loans, seller financing, creative deal structures to minimize cash down. And in her framing, leverage is how you get rich faster with boring businesses. But here's what leverage actually does to boring businesses. Boring businesses have thin margins. 10 to 15% net profit is good. 20 is exceptional. When you add debt service, you're taking margin that was supposed to compound as equity and redirecting it to loan payments. Now your margin for error disappeared. You can't absorb a bad month. You can't invest in maintenance. You can't weather a local economic downturn. The entire advantage of boring businesses is stability, predictability, resilience gets destroyed by the debt load. And the timeline flips. Instead of let this compound for 20 years, it becomes a I need to service this debt every month or I lose everything. That's not patient capital. That's a time bomb with monthly payments. The business that actually work in Codie's frameworks are the ones people bought with cash or minimal leverage. But she can't teach that model because most of her audience doesn't have 500K in cash sitting around. So she teaches leverage. Works for her because she has the expertise, experience, and backup capital, but not for her students because they have none of those things. Codie's content is structured around urgency. Don't wait, buy now, execute fast, build the portfolio quickly. And her audience internalizes this as boring businesses are a way to get rich quick if you move fast enough. But boring businesses don't reward speed, they punish it. Moving fast means skipping due diligence, miss critical problems, overpaying for assets, scared of losing the deal, over leveraging, need to close before someone else does, underestimating operational complexity, didn't spend time learning the business. The businesses that work are the ones where the buyer spent 6 to 12 months understanding the industry, talking to operators, analyzing deals, and waiting for the right opportunity. The businesses that fail are the ones where someone watched Codie's content on Tuesday and tried to close a laundromat deal by Friday. Speed is the enemy of patient capital, but Codie's entire marketing engine runs on urgency because patient capital doesn't create engaging content. Nobody clicks on "I bought a car wash and it's boring but profitable and in 20 years I'll be wealthy." On they click on a video, "I bought 3 laundromats in 6 months with no money down." So the content selects for the wrong behavior. Here's what Codie doesn't emphasize enough. Boring businesses are operational intensive. You're not buying a cash flow machine that runs itself. You're buying a job. Car washes break. Vending machines need restocking. Laundromats have customer issues, equipment issues, staffing problems. These businesses work when the owner is involved, understands operations, and can solve problems as they show up. They don't work as passive investment for people who want to build a portfolio of boring businesses while working a full-time job. But Codie's audience think they're buying passive income because that's how it's framed. Buy boring businesses, achieve financial freedom, escape the 9 to 5. The reality is you're trading your corporate job for a different kind of work that's often harder, more physical, more unpredictable. The people who succeed are the ones who actually like operations, who enjoy problem solving, who want to be in the business. The people who fail are the ones who thought they were buying their way out of work. And there's a selection problem. Codie's content attracts people who want financial freedom fast. Those are exactly the wrong people for businesses that require operational patience. Here's what's actually happening. Codie is teaching a low time preference wealth strategy, boring businesses compound slowly, to a high time preference audience, people who want results now, using high time preference marketing, urgency, speed, leverage. The strategy and the execution are mismatched. Boring businesses work when you have patient capital, she teaches leverage, you move slowly, she teaches speed, you operationally involved, she frames it as a passive. You can absorb volatility. Debt removes that buffer. Her students are trying to execute a patient strategy with impatient tactics, and the market is responding predictably. Boring businesses acquisitions is getting more competitive. Prices are inflating. Deals are getting worse, and more people are failing than succeeding. Because when you teach the 100,000 person to buy boring businesses using aggressive leverage and fast execution, you created a feeding frenzy that destroys the actual leverage those businesses had. They were boring because nobody wanted them. Now everyone wants them. They're not boring anymore. They're overpriced, over leveraged, and operational underwater. So, what do you do about this? You can't fix low time preference businesses with high time preference execution. You can't solve operational complexity with financial engineering. You can't build patient wealth with urgent tactics. Codie's framework is correct about what makes boring businesses valuable. They do compound. They are stable. They can create wealth. But the way she teaches that people to acquire them contradicts what makes them work. It's not what it's not that she's wrong about the asset class. She's right. Boring businesses are great. It's that the acquisition strategy and financing approach she promotes turns great businesses into over-leveraged traps. You can keep buying boring businesses with maximum leverage and minimum due diligence and wonder why they're harder to operate than expected. Or you can acknowledge that boring businesses require boring execution, patient capital, slow growth, operational involvement, time. Most people won't do that because boring execution doesn't create content that gets millions of views. But at least you know why boring business is more stressful than the corporate job you left. It's not the business, it's how you bought it.